Good evening, everyone. How we doing? Happy Wednesday evening, or happy Thursday morning, whatever it might be, wherever you might be. Give me just a sec. Turning the lights down in our room. All right. Boy, how do I do this? Where are we at? Also, the lo-fi music Christmas station, for whatever reason, just isn't playing the music anymore. Like, the video is playing, but that's it. So we're listening to same artist, or not artist, but same channel, Lo-Fi Girl, and it's the Classical Music Radio. So I hope you are, I hope you're prepared for a classical music night. Boom, engine. This is what you came for. So the intention today, there's a couple things that we could do. Is we could either, hold on, this classical music's already getting to me. What else does she have? The live tab. She has jazz. Oh, it's a jazz kind of night. Yeah, oh, that is much better. How's the audio, by the way? We doing good? Oh, I didn't ping the Discord. Hold on. There we go. So, a couple of things that we could do today. Oh, let me move my mic so I don't breathe into it again. A little bit better. The first one is we can program some more behaviors into our little friend here. We could also, like, make a model for it. My plan is to just use, like, some kind of animal model, like a deer or something. Maybe there's one for free on Fab. Actually, we should check that. I meant to upgrade Daisy. Sad no reindeer game. Do you want the reindeer game? Do we want to hit one real quick? I will start it. I'll start loading it. If I can find it. I have so many tabs. Alright, I'll make a new one. Always. Fair enough, fair enough. Give it a sec. What was I gonna look up? Oh man, that loaded like instantly. Alright, fine. You guys get your treat. Gotta switch it over. Oh wait, is Daisy online? She's the one who gives out points. Hold on. Is she awake? Oh, there she is. Alright. It's a rock. Oh, they changed her name. That's interesting. On Twitch, they use the @ symbol now in chat. I guess that makes sense. Because previously you could just be, like, change your username to insert famous person here. And it would just show up as that. What does mine show up as if I type in? Hold on. Oops, that was a mistake. Oh, okay, it's just my handle, because it's the same. We have a vote for blue and a vote for green. With 20 seconds on the clock. Will anyone else join in? Oh. You have to choose. Nibble. If yellow wins, I'll just manually give you the points. It's fine. And it begins. Whoa. Oh, yellow. Look at that. Yellow is in the lead currently. Yellow is booking it. Oh no. Its own hubris. It's lost in confusion. Oh, red is threatening to take it. Is that another red? That one got stuck too. You guys see why I spawned a whole bunch in? Oh! Anyone vote red? OMS! Congratulations. And there we go. That was the reindeer game. If any of you are just joining, by the way, one more. Okay, fine. If any of you are just joining, by the way, this is not the horror game. Maybe you're new here. This is not. If that wasn't obvious, this is not it. This is just like the starting soon for the Christmas time. So while we have a minute on the clock, a couple things to talk about of what we are going to do today. First is, I already mentioned, we can add a couple of behaviors to our AI. The second is we can actually try to give it a crazy robot body. Third is we can start doing some of the more user interface stuff, which is a lot more program heavy and blueprint heavy. And ultimately, I'm just going to do what's probably going to be the most entertaining to do on stream, and it might take some jumping around and kind of testing the waters to feel it. Christmas music can be horror. You know what? You're not wrong. Red cheated. He sent in a double. So we've got a blue's chosen blue. Crazy robot body. Natty's got green. Anyone else? And we begin. Oh, blue. Blue is in the lead. Oh, yellow tries to take it from green, but second place doesn't matter. No one cares. What's happening here? There's a tussle going on. It's between blue and green. I don't know if green can surpass blue at this point. Congratulations, blue. So there's also like a non-Christmas version of this. I don't know if I have it saved. Oh, I do. So this is Race Christmas. Let's see if I can like easily get the non-Christmas one up. Is it not in maps? Hmm. I think it's in one of these village packs. Fantastic Village? Oh, there we go. Map Village Race. So this is the non-Christmas one. We'll go ahead and throw this one real quick. Just, you know, third time's a charm. And then just so you guys can see it and then hear the different music. I like how we're, what, 15 minutes in? We haven't made any game stuff yet. This one's a little bit more spooky though. Look at the handprint underneath the yellow banner. You legit got half an hour to go to bed. So the plan of action is we're gonna look on Fab to see what the free assets of these couple weeks has been. Next, what we're gonna do is we're going to maybe see if there's already a rigged animal asset or like a cool looking creature that will serve as just like a placeholder for us to do some cool stuff with, and then throw that into the engine. If not, we can just do something simple like make a Roomba, and then we'll just like use the legally nondescript Roomba to test our stuff with, so that it at least isn't the T-posing body. From that, we'll probably either add maybe 1 or 2 new behaviors to it, or do some user interface updates. That's the plan for tonight. Also, a potentially shorter stream. I don't know if I'll go for the full 2 hours I usually do. Oh, now I've got the hiccups. I should definitely have Daisy say something in chat when the race starts. That way people who have the delay don't they don't miss out. This is the wrong music. It's supposed to play the horse race theme from Ocarina of Time. The Christmas is way better. Yeah, you see why I added multiple? Because then the blue one will do that. Then if you voted blue, it's just kind of game over, you know? You like the multiple reindeer. Yeah, because look, what are they doing in the back there? It would also get stuck. Like, all 4 would get stuck. And then the game just never ends. Alright, we'll go ahead and put that away. Don't need that anymore. Discord, boom. Oh, you guys can't see that. Hold on. There is a link that I dropped for... every 2 weeks, Unreal Engine releases new free stuff. And I want to find it. Here it is. Limited time free. Give me just a sec. I might have to open this up on a second thing. And see if it's changed. Oh, okay. Okay, we got some goodies this week. Let's go ahead and show you guys. So, I'll look at the music back. Let me get my chat back open. Hey, username, how's it going? Pretty good on my end. If you hear me talking to other people, by the way, username, that is good. I dual stream on YouTube. So, I'm not talking to the voices in my head. Okay, I guess I kind of am, but in a literal way. For those of you that don't know, Fab, which is the web store for Unreal Engine assets, every 2 weeks releases free stuff. What I highly recommend you do is if you want to make video games, even if not necessarily right now, but you think maybe at some point in the future you might want to, every 2 weeks, check back at this link and add these to your library. Just go through the checkout. If you've ever played like Fall Guys or Fortnite, you probably already have an account with Unreal Engine and Epic. And that way, when you do want to start building video games, you have this massive library that you've been building up week to week. So let's go ahead and check each of these out. So this is a stylized spruce forest. Actually looks pretty good. The issue that I've run into with a lot of the stylized packs, though, is that this in and of itself isn't enough to make a full game. And you either have to make your own art that matches this style, or find art that's close enough to where it doesn't clash too badly. This is pretty, like, it's stylized in a very, like, balanced way, though, which is just right to blend with other art styles, I think. Dodge It, this is a blueprint, so essentially code logic. What does this do? Provides an easy and responsive setup for directional dodging system. Using the character movement input, you can trigger proper dodge or evade animation for that said direction, regardless of your control rotation. If you want to allow your players escape death in an invincible situation, the system's right for your project. I haven't used Unreal yet, but I've used Godot. I'm still pretty bad, but I also just started. I mean, hey, you will see today firsthand. I've been doing this for a couple years now. I'm just professionally a C++ developer, just a software developer, and I am still hot garbage. So, like, as long as you improve from where you were, like, last month, that's all you need. This one looks kind of cool. I don't know if it's rigged, but a dark knight, male and female. I need that. One sec, hold on. What's this co-op horror game about? Amazing question. We should probably actually do some of that. Let's pull this up. Oop, that's the wrong one. It's the Christmas thing we just showed off. Go ahead and switch back. Unreal Editor. Boom. So right now we're setting up a lot of the, just the core logic. So the game doesn't look all that great yet, because there's not really anything to it besides a bunch of blocks. We do have other levels, or by we, it's just kind of the royal we. It's pretty much just me. But the overall gameplay, let's see if I have some kind of visual to tie this to that I used last time. We'll go ahead and duplicate this. It takes a lot of inspiration from something like Phasmophobia, but kind of more leaning into the puzzle mechanics of something like the older Resident Evil and Silent Hill games. The idea is that you have this large environment, not too dissimilar from the Resident Evil mansions, and then you and a handful of your players and friends can go inside and explore. So inside the mansion itself are, as you would imagine, a series of rooms. Each room has puzzles in it. It has keys in it, but sometimes keys aren't like shaped like a key. They're not obvious that it's a key. For instance, you might pick up a light bulb, and you might find a room later on that's dark. Technically, that light bulb is a form of key. But the puzzles and the rooms and the exploration are just kind of part of the backdrop. The main part of the game, kind of the core gameplay loop, is there is a monster inside this mansion. And this kind of blends in some of the ideas and some of the DNA of things like Phasmophobia. While it isn't immediately aggressive, it is a threat to the players. And the objective of the players isn't just to evade it and run from it. They actually have to study it. Because they, in this world, they are scientists. This is some creature, some monster, and they want to learn what this thing is and what it's capable of. And so the goal of the player is to study this thing while also trying not to die from it. And so the way that that works is, and I'm going to kind of do a little bit of that programming here today. Programming, I guess, used a little bit lightly if we don't get around to actually getting to C++, is that the player has a list and like a handbook of different types of behaviors from animals that are somewhat similar. So for instance, like, it'll say, oh, this animal will flee from rooms that are bright. It might approach softer noises but louder noises it will run from. And so that's an example of 3 of them. And so you'd have a relatively long list of different things to say, is this true or is this false as it relates to this monster? And so the whole point of the game is there's a big scary monster and you are just there to fuck with it, to learn what you can. All good horror games do have a monster, exactly. Phasmophobia is probably one of my favorite of the Friend Slop series, mostly because I really just like puzzle games. But I feel like the loop in Phasmo gets somewhat repetitive. I like a lot of the super detailed puzzle mechanics in Phasmophobia that they kind of try to hide. So, for instance, in Phasmophobia, there's a difficulty mode where if you want to learn what the ghost is, you have to learn and check very specific things that only certain ghosts might do. For instance, there's a 1 in 24 chance that a specific ghost will, when it blows out a candle 3 times, it will attack a player. So one thing that the players will do is they'll put a candle down, see if it blows it out. Put a second one down, see if it blows it out. Put a third one down, see if it blows it out. And then if it doesn't do anything at the third blowout, then it's not that one of the 24. My intention is to kind of expand upon that in a way that feels a little bit more intentional, because that's not meant to be the core gameplay loop of Phasmophobia. In Phasmophobia, you have 5 evidence, and no matter what you're doing, it's always the same 5. One of them is the room is cold. The other one is, did it leave a handprint on a door when I opened it? And then by finding technically 3 of these 5, it limits it down to which of the 24 you want to find. So, fun overall concept. I think the gameplay loop is phenomenal. I want to kind of take my own approach to it, and that's what all of this is going to be. So, today, the intention here is to get our friend here to be a little bit more smart. Right now, the idea is that we're going to start with just, can we get the player to identify the correct behavior with this? And again, kind of going back to what I mean with that, is let's say we have 3. One of them, let's say, is avoid dark rooms. Maybe one of them is it will approach sound. And maybe the third one is it'll follow the player. And then maybe a couple more. And then the player will have these set of 5 or however many, and then they will see which of these do we see in this animal, monster, ghost thing here. And so we can already see that. The AI system I built is already set up to do this pretty dynamically. So from here, I can add an extra trait, like avoid fire. Stalk player, so this one will allow this monster to follow the player. And ultimately, the goal of the player is to figure out which of these things this is set to. I haven't heard of a game like that besides Phasmo, but that doesn't count. Yeah, Phasmophobia is just like such a unique concept. And I'm glad that game exists. I only found it like a couple years ago. Are we allowed to know what kind of monster it is yet? You mean like in the lore? Or just like mechanically speaking? Is he choppy for anyone else? Oh, am I choppy? How bad is the chop? Lore. Look around, find out my kind of gameplay. Am I still choppy? I'll answer the lore question in a sec, but I want to make sure my mic is good. Get a new... Actually, we can go ahead and just undo this one. It's not too bad here on Twitch. Okay, cool. Thank you, thank you. It should be the same across both platforms. Then I move my mic a little bit closer. You're good now? Okay, good, dude. Not uber bad, but it's not seamless. Yikes. Yikes. One of the things should be how he kills someone. You have to sacrifice. Ooh, that's a good one. Yeah, anytime you guys have a recommendation for one of those, please let me know, because I want to just add as many as I can. To give you an example, this is one of them. Or this is a list of what those different behaviors are. I want it to be a lot more than this, because I want there to be a lot of replayability. Why are there a lot of dots? Is it bad? Is it stinky? I want this to be super replayable. So like with Phasmophobia, you will always get the same 5 things to look for. I like the idea of maybe having... Let's get ridiculous here, right? Let's dream bigger than reality might even be. Let's say there's 100 different potential behaviors for this animal to have. But the player won't always get 100 at one time. They might just get like 4 or 5. Or if it's a more difficult difficulty, they might get closer to like 10 or 15. The likelihood that they'll see the exact same set of behaviors from one round to another is very low. And that's what I like. So I want to have a bunch of different behaviors. Now you might be curious, how difficult is it to make a new behavior? The way I've set it up is pretty easy. So for instance, you recommended one of the things should be how he kills someone. So you have to sacrifice a player. If we go to detect player, so this is one of them. This one will have it follow the player. I could make a clone, or actually not detect player. I think there is a... Oh, is it detect player? Okay, yeah. So detect player is the follow player one. What I could do from here is have some extra logic here that says when our distance... No. When AI distance is less, or let's see, minus player distance. So essentially when it approaches, then is, let's say, less than 5 units. Do X. And X can be like, maybe it won't kill the player. Maybe it will just stand and stare at them. Tapping out too much chop and you're tired? Good night, good night. Have a good night. I'll say it in chat too, just in case you can't hear it. Blue, are you here? How do I sound? I'll open up YouTube on my phone also. Test. Test. That sounds okay to me. Let's see. I'm gonna keep talking. That sounds okay to me. Let's see. I'm gonna keep talking. That sounds okay to me. Yeah, might have been a local thing. I've made my share of critters, but none in 3D. All of them being pixel art. Well, that's cool. 3D architecture, I'm pretty good at. Let me see if I have it open still. Because we did some work in that, I believe it was last week. Okay, this is not the best example. This is what I was making on Monday. Let me open up another instance of Blender so I can show you some of the more recent art. Do room wall. And let's change this. There we go. So I made this for like the interior. It's meant to be like a Gothic mansion type environment. I also made, let's see, open up school. No, it's not school. I think it's room. Oh, it shows you a preview. That's neat. Nurse's office. Desk and chair. Here we go. So I made a lot of these. So this was... I didn't make the walls in this room, but this was meant to be a room without the walls, because technically this is the wall. This is the door frame. I had it all, you know, on 0 so that I could export it at its access. Or like made tables and bookshelves. Making people though, oof. Hold on, I think I had an image of a person that I made in the Discord. Let's see. I think it was under art. I thought I had an art channel. Oh, there it is. No, that wasn't it. Is it in Blender? It might have just been something I showed on stream. What's the unread? Uh-oh. I mainly do art, little game dev, and I have one game that's definitely not finished. Oh, I don't know why Automod blocked this. Expected spam content. No, that's fine. Oh, that's not what I want. I thought ignore meant ignore action. Whoops. I don't have the actual game uploaded yet. I just have a page. Oh yeah, you're it's a website where people can upload games. Oh, Game Jolt. Sorry, I'm catching up on messages here. Weird. Yeah, I don't know why, because I have my own Automod, which is Daisy, and she's here in the chat now. But this is not her. I don't know. You know what? Hold on, I have an idea. Boom. That's still gross. Why is... Actions. I'll have to mess with Automod at some point. I'll have to mess with it. Basti was... Basti's one of the human moderators here. That's his cat. Well, that's not his cat. That's his cat. He was complaining that she's a little too homicidal when it comes to moderation. So I want to spend some time fixing that at some point. Send it in the art channel. I'm gonna grab some critters from my doodling device and send it in the art channel. Oh, cool. I'll pop it up when you get, when I see the ping. I'll move this over to a different screen. I'll have to just check back actually because I'm out of monitors to use. I was gonna try to upload it to Steam, but it is very confusing. Yeah, Steam's rough. Game Jolt is usually, or not Game Jolt. itch.io is a good one, but it's just kind of where everything gets dropped onto. So it's easy for stuff to get lost on there. Let's see. Let's go back to Fab and see if maybe we can find an animal that's like already rigged or something. The animal. And here we go. Technical feature rigged. Oh, that's kind of nice. Animals free, low poly. Although I would have to make the animations for it. And it wouldn't be used in the final product, so I might just make a Roomba. Just for the sake of having... because I don't need to animate a Roomba. It just kind of moves on its own. Okay, let's do that then. Let's go to Blender and make a Roomba. New general. We're gonna add cylinder. Probably make this a bit bigger. Actually, how big is a Roomba? This is 2 meters across? Probably not that big, right? How big is a Roomba in meters? What's a meter? Someone pick a number 1 to 5. 3. Boom. Let's see. Roomba radius in meters. That's on my Google history now. A Roomba does not have a rough radius in meters. 1.2. Okay, that's all I needed. Thank you. 1.2. That's a big Roomba. That's a big Roomba, because that's like 3 meters wide? Isn't that like 9 feet? No, that can't be right. That can't be right. We'll just do that. Oh, that's not right either. Okay, hold on. Fix this. And do one of these. And we'll go ahead and mark these as sharp. Shade it smooth. That way it looks like a nice little puck. The arts have been unleashed. Uh-oh. Let's take a look. Oh, lore answer. Right, sorry about that. I get distracted all the time. We'll do lore answer right now. Okay, so, part of it I'm gonna keep somewhat a secret, but don't expect this to be like super in-depth Phasmophobia, or not Phasmophobia, Five Nights at Freddy's level of lore. I'm trying to prioritize fun, but like enough mystery with the story that it's interesting. The overall idea is that there is a source to all of the monsters that you find. At the beginning of the game, you don't really know what it is. You don't even necessarily know that it exists. But it's pretty heavily hinted at. And they just say, hey, there's all of these monsters coming from a certain thing. You don't know where the thing is. The people telling you about it do. And eventually you figure out. And we'll get to that at some point. But these are sort of resembling the Resident Evil monsters in terms of, like, what are they? Are they ghosts? Are they demons? Are they robots? Are they biological monsters? And so, at least for this part of the game, they're that last one. They're biological monsters. I kind of split things up into multiple different types of horror. In my mind, there are 4. There's sci-fi. And that itself can kind of be split up into 2, because there's sci-fi technology. There's sci-fi biology. So, like, zombies would kind of fall into this category. AI and just robots would fall into tech. Then you also have paranormal. So ghosts and stuff. So ghosts. Phasmophobia falls under this. And then there's a 4th one that is pretty closely related to paranormal, which I'll either call like supernatural or eldritch. And this is more like folklore, or this is more like mythology, or something like demons. So a game that would fall under this category would be something like Silent Hill. They absolutely are not ghosts. they're not biological, they're not robots. They're kind of its own manifestation, its own thing. And so those are kind of the 4 different types of horror that I mentally split it up into one of those 4. In terms of what this part of the game that we're working on now, you are here. You're in the zombie mutations, large monsters that are all kind of part of this sci-fi realm bit. And so the idea is that all of those monsters that the players face are some offspring in some way of this one, the main one, their mother, for lack of a better word. And so some of them will be humanoid. Here's one. Look at him. Some of them might not be. That's a... Oh. I was going to say, that's a blob. Started to look a little bit more than a blob. So humanoid, psychological. I don't know if I would say psychological, but humanoid I would say, yeah. One of the designs I had initially, and for people who've been here for a long time, I can't draw very well. I did like a very rough drawing a long time ago. Her name is Mari. So that's her. Got hair. And the idea is that she can't, like, her limbs are atrophied. But there are, like, these tendrils that are wrapped around razor wire that she can maneuver and move better than her own limbs. And so she moves this razor wire that's attached to her body and almost pulls on it like puppet strings. You can think almost like Doc Ock, but weird and biological horror type of way. Doc Ock from, like, Spider-Man. Like, she has some on her legs, one around her waist, one around her neck. And she hangs from the ceiling. And she moves not by moving her legs, but by these little tendrils letting go of whatever perch they had on the ceiling, moving to a new spot, and then dragging her body around almost like a rag doll. This is her, but this is what's moving her around. So that's one of the monster designs I had. Cool, you like it? Thank you. Art was posted. Art has been posted. Let's see. Ooh. Got a whole animation here, too? I'm trying to think of what this reminds me of. Self-embodiment. Oh, okay. Spoiler. This warning. That's a really good design, though. I like that. Oh, just for it to not go into your game. There's always next time. A boomer shooter. Username that is good. Yeah. You're always welcome to share links, by the way. Like, that's perfectly fine, even in chat. YouTube doesn't let you share links. That's not a thing I can change, by the way. But you are more than welcome to self-advertise. I don't mind. Within reason. Just, like, don't spam. But what I consider spam is what we were doing with the testing, like, yesterday. Spam, pass Sam. Daisy will time you out for that. She's our mod. Our auto mod. See if we can get... Oh, there's like a little game, by the way, that I haven't fully implemented yet. But as you are chatting, you earn chat points, regardless of what platform you're in. Thanks, you made it last year. Yeah, it looks awesome. So every 10 minutes that you're here, you get 100 chat points. And you can use that to redeem certain things. So, dog. And then that will do different things to the stream. Is there a resource where all of this is written down and you can check it out? Nope. Nope. It's tribal knowledge, as we call it. But you can do exclamation mark points if you want to see how many points you've accrued. If you're lurking, I'm sorry to say you don't get any because there's no way for me to know that you're here. Which means I don't have a username to give points to. Even if I knew you were here, if I can't see you, you can't get them. So, sorry about that. But lurkers, I do still appreciate you being here. Absolutely. I see you, the 10 of you on YouTube. Let's keep making a Roomba. What is a... I forgot what Roombas look like. Hold on, let me Google an image of a Roomba. It's going to be a legally distinct Roomba, mind you. Actually, wait a sec. I think I've got a little robot thing here anyway. Hold on. Goomba. Nope, I didn't call it Goomba. Roomba. Nope. Do I have Goomba the Roomba still? Did I get rid of that? How about robot? Oh, you found one of the ghost effects. One more arts has been sent. Take a peek. Your new game concept. A bullet hell about an immortal soldier who needs limbs to stay alive. Made this like a month ago in A-Spray. That's the one thing that I've never been able to nail is the shading. Like getting light to look correct. And proportions. And just opening up the app to begin with. But yeah, that's awesome, dude. Where am I at? Every time like people come and they post like trailers of their game and art that they've made and it's like it's all better than mine. It's like, oh, great. You're doing good, guys. Shading is a huge pain. Oh yeah, I bet. Where was I at? Roomba. Here we go. Nope, that's not the Roomba. Go away. A long time ago, I think like last year, I used this project to make a game jam game called Goomba the Roomba is Whom. And if I can find Goomba the Roomba, we will use him as our temporary monster. Boom. Nope, not here. Oh! Where is this? How do I show in folder view? Show... Oh, game level prototyping GIMP. I don't want it to be in GIMP though. Audio... Maps... Oh, Maps Jam? This is gonna be all kinds of scuffed. Oh no, this doesn't have anything in it. Goomba da Roomba. It's loading, by the way. You guys can't see the loading screen, but it's there. Also, thanks for the follow username. That's good. I appreciate it. I'll try not to disappoint. It's at 84%. 87. So, gotta support my fellow game devs. Thank you, thank you. Anybody have a good Wednesday? It's Wednesday evening for me right now, if anyone's curious. It's 8 p.m. I'm just kind of chilling out. I can't believe it's December already. Like, what happened? Halloween went by in an instant. Like, most of that is my fault. I gave myself way too many... Like, I planned way too many things. And it just felt like I didn't even have a moment to breathe. But... November went by in a flash. And now we're here. Listening to relaxing jazz music. Cozy radio to study and chill to. 11 for you. You had tests today. Ooh, let's drop this down to low. Alright, where's Goomba? This art is not mine, by the way. Oh, no. This isn't Goomba. That's a man. Alright. We'll continue to use the man for now, I guess. It'll make for good clips. Okay. So what is... Ah, a man. What's a behavior we want to give to this? So currently, by the way, there's no health system added yet. So anything that's kind of directly related to the player or any interaction with that might be a bit more difficult to add. So you can think like environmental things, like the ones that we've talked about already, like a room is dark. Or maybe there is, like maybe the room is colder than the other rooms. Oh, Raph, how you doing? Behavior, evil. I like it. I like it. Where is the arrow coming out of? Why does he have that? Why? We'll ignore that. That's fine. We can hold on. Nope, it's still there. Okay. What is that? Why does he have it? How do I turn it off? Oh, is that the spline? Oh, that is the spline. I don't need to see that. Why is it there? There, well, at least we'll do this, just so it's... Oh. It's a little less, why is it here now? Oh, this was one of the attempts at the razor wire stuff, by the way. The kill everyone behavior. Alright, I'll write that one down. I've had 2 weeks of chaos, probably a few more ahead of you. Oh no. There should be behavior that makes him taunt the player, like writing messages on the wall. Not very modest, is he? That's a good one. Let me write that down as a note. One of them... So just one of its overall actions, by the way. So let's do... Is, and I don't know if we have it here... Controller. Here we go. So suspicion level and aggression level. So there's multiple phases to this AI. Because with Phasmophobia, it's very all or nothing, right? It'll attack you once you reach a certain sanity percentage, or in another way of speaking, it'll attack you once you've been playing for a certain amount of time. Which, for the type of game Phasmophobia is, does its job, and does it really well. For what I'm doing, because you're exploring a much larger place, and you need more time to be able to do that, and you need to be able to do that mostly unimpeded, at least at the beginning, there are multiple phases. The first one is the AI doesn't even know that you're there. It's oblivious. So it kind of does its own thing. It's not in any active kind of search mode. It's just doing whatever it likes to do. And maybe even that is its own type of behavior. Like maybe it'll sit around the fireplace. Maybe it knows how to play the piano. When it sees the player for the first time, well, that's jumping ahead. Some things will make it suspicious. So if it hears noises in the environment, that will increase its suspicion level. And let me show GIMP. I've been drawing things here and you haven't been able to see it. That'll increase its suspicion level. And when it's suspicious is when it starts to look for where's the sound coming from. At a certain point, the behavior is mostly the same up until it sees the player. When it sees the player, it's not initially aggressive. It will try to watch the player while also not being watched. So let's say that we have a hallway here. And let's say that this X is the monster, this dot is the player. Let's say that you're looking at it. The monster might run around the corner, but just enough to where it breaks line of sight. It might wait a sec and then might peer around the corner to see if you're still trying to look at it. So it's trying to look at you in a way where you're not also looking at it. After a certain amount of time, after the monster's looked at you and watched you for long enough, it gets more comfortable with you. It gets to the point where if you look at it, it's not going to do anything, but it's also not going to run away. It's just going to stand there. And if it continues to watch you, it'll figure out that you're not really a threat to it. And that's when it starts to hunt. Vibrations, responding to players jumping or sings along at a certain key. Key is in music. That's a good one. I had done something similar for the game I was wanting to make for Halloween. I didn't get around to implementing that mechanic as well as I hoped, and I'll get back to it at some point. But I want to write that down. So, vibration. There aren't a lot of things in this level yet for me to implement something like that at this moment. Let's keep brainstorming a bit. Because to get the vibrations to work, I'll need things that the player can interact with that will cause a vibration of some kind. Trying to think of all biological systems. Oh, yes! Things that had kind of come to mind to me initially first is environmental factors. Like, will it approach rooms that are colder? Will it approach rooms that are warmer? Or like moths to a flame, right? And it's not necessarily that moths like the flame, if I remember right. It's that they want the flame to be towards their back because they think that the flame is the sun. And if the sun is on their back, that means that they're flying the right way. But if it's a light bulb, they just circle around it and they kind of get stuck. So one simple thing to do would be, we can see here that these light bulbs show that this room has a light source in it. One thing could be that it will maybe it'll walk slower in rooms that are lit up. Maybe it'll walk faster. Maybe it is more likely to ignore rooms that are dark. And what I can mean by likely is, let's say we have something like let's say we have something like this. Let's say that our friend here wants to get to this top corner room. Maybe they heard a sound there. Maybe they've just decided, I want to walk to this room specifically. One thing that I can do is I can program certain weights to certain rooms based on any number of factors. So I can say, this room costs 5 points for the AI to cross through. But each of these rooms only cost 1 because these rooms are lit up. For it to get here, it thinks it's faster to go this way towards the top because it's prioritizing the room with the light, even though as the crow flies, this way is quicker. So we can also think with that kind of environmental stuff as well. They can do things like turn more or speed up as stimulus increase. Gotta head out. Good luck on your project. Thank you, Raph. Have a good one. Maybe he could haunt a room, and if you step inside, the lights will turn off, turn red, and go back to normal and increase aggression. I have to read that again. Haunt a room. Step inside, it'll turn the lights off and turn on red. Okay. I think I see what you're trying to say. I'm gonna pause a moment and just kind of brain blast and think, how would that, like, peak, like, my peak ability, how would that look? The difficulty there is that we would need the AI to stock a room in particular. And so we would have to determine what room does it want to stock, unless it's actively in one of the hunting modes where it's not chasing the player, but it's still following them. That could make sense for it to stock a nearby room. And then as a means of getting away when player makes eye contact, it flashes the lights. You say the monster gets comfortable with players when it learns... Oh, sorry. Daisy deleted a lot of that. Let me read it on my... You say players get more comfortable... The monster gets more comfortable with players when it learns they're done dangerous? Maybe they're not dangerous? Maybe add a mimic behavior. Like if there's a voice chat. I don't know if that's what it's called. I think voice chat's the right one. And replay conversations as a way to talk to players. I've thought about that before too, and that's in like some mods. That would be a little... That'd be cool. I like that idea. I wonder if there's like any kind of legal loophole to that though. Like, does the player consent to having their voice being recorded and used by the game? I don't think that's a thing, like a law, but I think it's just like a splash screen at the beginning. It would take a little bit longer to implement though. Some of these more environmental behaviors a little bit closer. Pheromones, you could get a player to take a cloth and get a smell of the monster. This can either make the monster aggressive or scared or play. Oh, that's a good one. Daisy took out Nibbles. Autocorrect, not dangerous. Oh, I got you. I like that. Scent. That's one that we could probably program here. So let's do that. Scent. Let's split this up into scent. Let's see. Maybe scent attract, scent repel. And what was the third? Because you said three things: aggressive, scared, or oh, that's right. We don't necessarily have to limit it to does it go towards or does it go away. We could have the stimulus change the behavior rather than like, oh, go to the scent or go away from it. Like bees with smoke. So scent, let's think of an easy one that we can do here just to test it. Scent. And let's go back to looking at that room. So what's an easy one here that we can drop something into the world or give it to the player, and it will change how this reacts. I'm trying to think of how I can do cost with something dynamic, like the player being in a room makes the room cost more. Because as we kind of talked about here, we have like we can associate different rooms with different costs. But and let's actually go to the other level where I have an example of one of them. Actually, unless I have it here already, and I think I might. Let me open up my content drawer. Let's go to level prototyping. Navigation, I think. Dynamic targets. No, not that one. Stimuli. Fire. Let me turn on navigation to show you. You can see here that this is red, or this is pink. What does the pink mean? This has a higher cost now. The way that this works is, and let's see if we simulate this. These colors are kind of weird. And it's hard to see exactly what's happening because we don't necessarily know what its targets are. But we saw this cube kind of go through 3 different levels. It was like this default color, and then it turned to like this weird like invisible yellow. And then after a while, it goes red. What's happening there is each time this color changes, and it's not because the color is changing, I just happen to have it going at the same time to make it easier for me to debug. This pathway gets less expensive for it to walk. So let's say that when we first start, this costs 10 for it to walk past. When it turns yellow, maybe it becomes 5. When it turns red, it becomes 1. And so there's nothing really limiting this from walking this way. So let's see if he does actually walk this way. We're gonna see if it comes out tomorrow. What era is this game taking place? I go back and forth a lot with that one. Because I want to write a cohesive story, and I feel like this era isn't necessarily going to be the best set piece. But at the same time, I don't want to write myself into a corner if I want to design a game mechanic using something that exists in today's society, like a tablet or something. Like if they use a tablet to look at a video camera, but I have the game set in 1950, then it doesn't really work that well. I think I'm going to an early showing because it's at 7:30 at night. Oh, I see. Well, that's cool. Hope you enjoy it. I want to see it too. Hopefully they do like a streaming release. And it looks like our friend isn't walking through this this space here, and I don't know if it's because it's just choosing not to, or if it's because the cost is too high. So we'll go ahead and get rid of it. So that's one, and that's one I'm somewhat tempted to work on. But that might factor in something like dynamic cost. MatPat as Toy Bonnie is going to sound weird. Oh, I didn't know that was him. So he went from being a waiter, and then he just got stuffed in the Toy Bonnie suit. The lore is crazy. Let's see. Do I have it so where rooms have traits? So... I have a room class, which is this. It doesn't look like I have it. And let's see what Room Wanderer has. Maybe I'm using a different type. E-Rooms is null. I can tell it... I can give it a room that it dislikes. But my rooms don't have traits the same way that the monsters do. So let's change that. I actually want to give my rooms traits. So we're going to do something similar to what we are doing with our Hunter AI character. Because here... I missed it. We have E Hunter trait, and then we also have a, I believe we have a get and set, probably just a get. So we have an array of traits, and then has trait. So let's do this. We're going to go back and forth between this and our room quite a bit. And before I spend too much time on this, let me double check that this is in fact the room object that I'm used to it being. Or that I'm expecting it to be. BP room. Okay, yep, this is the same room object, which is good. That's exactly what I wanted. And here, by the way, we can see directly in Engine what traits rooms have. So I can give it what type of room it is, what its size and shape is, how many doors it has. But that's really all that I'm defining. The rest is just like basic stuff that comes packed into the engine. So we're going to give one more on that list there, and that's the trait of the room. We're going to add it to the header file, which is this. We don't want to call it Hunter trait, we're going to call it room trait. And then let's do something like dark, cold, warm. What else? What can a room be? Might make some good concepts tomorrow. Cool. If anyone here is new or you have to drop off soon, I typically stream every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. This Friday I'm offline. But around 7 p.m. Pacific time, or about 10 p.m. Pacific on the Fridays. If you're in the Discord, if you go to the schedule tab, it'll tell you when I'm live, and it will update to your local time zone, so you don't need to track it. And so if you want to see what 10 p.m. your time is, you can scroll up a bit and see what Daisy has to say. But by far the easiest way to follow along is just either follow or subscribe to the YouTube channel. If you happen to be looking for something to watch and I happen to be live, I'll probably be recommended to you. Alright, let's keep going. My idea is that the player gets dragged into this realm with the house and the monster where time and reality clash, solving the error question. You can have a flashlight that you need to crank power and have a 32-inch curved monitor at the same time. That's pretty neat. Not a bad one. So other scientific tracking. Ink track pads. You can see the footprints of the monster. Ooh. Okay. That's a good environmental one. Would there be an instance, though, where one monster might not leave footprints? Oh, I guess the one that hangs from the ceiling. Or it would look weird. It would look more like feet getting daintily dragged rather than actual footsteps, because she's not walking. How would I... So that is something that would apply to all monster types, because they all move around, which means they would all have some kind of reaction, even if that reaction is none, to the footstep trap, the salts, or anything like that. So that wouldn't necessarily be a trait that would get added here, because it's true for all of them. But I like that. Footsteps. Would you have to set the trap? You would have to set the trap, get the monster to move there, then check it against a book. Yeah. And then we can also, like, make it descriptive too. So we could have one with images and one that maybe just says X has 4 toes, 3 of them are circular, those are in the middle, 2 of them are oval towards the edge of the foot. And then you could track it like that. That's one. That would require a... So in terms of programming that, let's think about what we would need. We would need it to be an item that's equipable by the player, which is already set up. The player's inventory stuff works mostly. It would need to be placed down, and then would need to have some kind of interaction with the AI. And then it would also have to be added to the list of traits. I would probably, because even though I did just say that it is a trait that all of them have, the shape of their foot is what the trait would be. So like I would have the circular toed one as a trait, the no footprints as a trait, and maybe just have that as a default. By default, if I forget to set it, it'll just say, oh, it doesn't have any footprints. So we have a couple of different avenues of things that we can tackle. we have something in the room that changes the behavior of the monster, or something on the monster itself that can be learned. Another one I was thinking is, what if it sheds or something, or like leaves behind a trail of scales or teeth or hair? Hey Tart, welcome back. Glad to see you. We're coming up, we're brainstorming a lot of ideas, and I don't know if we'll do a lot of programming. I think a lot of this brainstorming is maybe more interesting to you guys, because there's a lot more back and forth between me and you. There's a lot more conversation. But to bring anyone up to speed that might have just hopped in, the idea is that we have a monster, and we have the monster in a room like this. This is just a test room. This is not obviously final product, not by a long shot. The intention here is that the monster has a set of traits. Here are a few of them. One of them is, let's go ahead and delete a couple of these. Oops, I deleted all of them. I didn't want to do that. I delete just one? Delete. So one is, oh, this monster has a favorite room. This monster doesn't like rooms with bright lights and will avoid fire. And so the goal of the player, they don't know what these three are. They don't know what has been given to the monster. And so by studying it, they have to figure out, you know, oh, it's in its favorite room or something like that. So what we're doing now is, what are different things that we can do to the environment that will change the monster's behavior, like the room being cold, the room having bright lights in it, or what are things that we can give to the monster that is something the player can analyze. You could put hair in a petri dish and see the color change. Color shape a number of the bacteria that grows. Ooh, that's a good one. Like collected, not necessarily hair, but a sample. Sample collection / chemical reaction. Because that's another... See, I like that one a lot, because that opens up the door for a lot of possibilities for me as a designer. Because, if we go back to GIMP, we talked about how this kind of has a very almost Resident Evil type feel to it, or that's what I'm going for. You have this huge mansion. You know, you have your foyer, you have your ballroom, some hallways, and then all these rooms here and there, and then there's puzzles in them and whatnot. But part of the question for me to solve as the designer is, well, what's in these rooms? What makes them worth exploring? And the answer is keys. But not all keys are going to be one that you would put on a keychain. One might be the chemical solution you need to do that chemical test with the sample. So if you want to check that box off that says, yes, this is the right behavior, or no, this is the wrong behavior, you'll need the chemical solution, maybe a petri dish if you don't already have one, maybe sometimes it'll be given to the player, and then a sample. So that would be like a more difficult task, as opposed to just, is it cold or not? But they would both kind of like still be like on the same list of things the players have to figure out. I like that. That's a good one. I think you need a lab room. I think so too. Oh, let me write down that in the rooms, because that's another thing I'm struggling with, is the amount of rooms that I can... let's go to enumerator rooms. You can see I have like 5 different bedrooms, which I probably will. I might even have more different bedroom variants. But having more variety in terms of our room designs is going to be good here. How moist the carpet is? Like, if it's wearing socks and you get its socks wet, if it freaks out because now it's walking around in wet socks. Only program with HTML and I don't understand the rest. No worries. Fair enough, fair enough. Dead by Daylight gameplay. Fixing generator while being chased. How... Trying to think how that would fold into this type of gameplay loop, though. Because the monster is not always in a state of chasing. pH. Find different chemicals in the game. Find their pH, and then see how the monster reacts to them. Oh. Like, this is dumb, and this is like... This is a dumb joke, but I'm gonna say it anyway. Like, let's say you pour something super acidic on the monster, and the like, there's a massive chemical reaction, and then you get an achievement. It's like, oh, this is a basic bitch, because it's a base. Like baking powder is a base, and when you mix base with acid, there's a massive chemical reaction. It's a chemistry joke, and it's like not even a good one. But boy, did my brain pump that one out, and it was proud of it. Nibbles cooking with these ideas. That was bad? Okay, look. Bad and good are just, they're subjective. They're two sides of the same coin. I respect the effort, though. Thank you, thank you. Alright, I'm glad, like, some of you are kind of on the same wavelength as me. Most of you are, which is great. Let's keep going. Let's keep designing a game, folks. This is awesome. I should probably I should probably come up with a couple ideas. Let me look at the room again, because I'm definitely a very visual learner when it comes to a lot of this. And so just having the environments and looking at them helps me kind of brain blast. You meant they have good ideas? Yeah, that's how I read it. When mixing takes so long because being confused gets an achievement called Slow Goldfish Brain. I worked in science, so I'm just reliving my career in studies. I have, like, as a computer scientist, I have so many puzzles that I want to implement that are, like, computer science based, where it's like, oh, you have to do the bit math to find the password to the door. And I'm like, oh, I don't know if people are going to find that. I don't know if people will find that fun. Maybe if I do it the right way. New behavior, new behavior, new behavior. You know what? Let's do the simple one. The one that I talked about a while on. Let me actually put everything back so that it compiles, because I don't think we changed enough that it'll break it. This isn't being used. I don't think it'll complain about it not being used. And then let's go to Hunter. So let's save all of these and then we'll compile. hope we get a good sound. How it reacts to a cat. That's not a bad one. Very good, that works. I'd imagine that nobody is retrieving the victims from the building. Where do their bodies go? Do they just decompose into the carpet, or does the monster do anything with them, like that one bird that impales their prey? Ooh, that's a good one. Environmental. The people in the building that were victims. Oh, this is a stupid one. But it kind of goes back to, like, the monster does something unique to the victim after it dies. What if one of them, when there's like a player's corpse, it will grab it and drag it to its favorite room, put it on a chair, and like set up a scene for a tea party. Like, it brings you to the tea party. It'll have a tea party with the dead husks of your friends. Air quality. You could burn some food and create smoke. I just finished my exam. Oh, I just finished my exam tomorrow. The last day when I saw your notification, I immediately rushed home to watch. That's not bad, very uncanny. I like it. Thanks, username. I'm in love with the tea party idea, especially because one of the monster designs is kind of like the stereotypical like ghost child girl thing that you saw in like old Twilight Zone episodes, or what is it, The Shining, or Phasmophobia. Resident Evil did it also, like with Evelyn, and it's like, I think that was even a scene in Resident Evil 7 where like there was a tea party that she had set up. Let me write that down before I forget, because I've got the attention span of a goldfish. Tea party. Okay. The other thing we wanted to do was when it sees the player, it stops. That is actually a very easy one to do. So we have detect player. And I don't even necessarily need to make a new one of these. I can just add on to it. If player in sight, target priority as stock player. So we are going to take a copy of this code. And let's remove the comments we don't need. So this is setting its priority. I think the higher the number is, the more it wants to chase it. So for instance, let's say there's a door slamming. If there was nothing else, the monster would go check out what caused the door to make the sound. That might be a 3 or a 4. But if it sees the player, it doesn't care that the door has been slammed. It sees what it's been looking for. So that's like a 7. I'm pretty sure the higher the number is, the more it wants to do it. So, oh, the difficulty here is that it's not setting a target. It's that it's just not moving. And so I wonder if it would be better to say that its target is itself until this doesn't get executed anymore. I think that's probably going to be the closest I can do. So if I do Blackboard get value as actor, do I get hunter location at any point? I don't even know if I... Let's see what's in my Blackboard. I don't think I have target location on there, or I don't think I have hunter location. Self actor, target priority, player inside player location. No, I don't. Oh, you guys can't see this, so I'll show you. And let me show you the behavior tree also. Just so you guys kind of have a full scope of what's going on. So this is just data that I can write to, and the AI can pull this data out whenever I want it to. So even though I'm always writing the player location, the AI won't always act like it knows where I am. It'll only be kind of given hints of where I am when the behavior tree determines that it needs to know this. And so it essentially goes through all potential behaviors, and it returns any that it doesn't have. So if it does, it'll hit this audio detection behavior, and then it'll be like, oh, you don't have any ears though, and then it'll move on to this next one, which in this case is transition. And then there's also just this interrupt. This is like, if it's walking towards a sound, but then it happens to see a player, stop walking to the sound, and this interrupt is what does the stop walking. Basti! Blue isn't here? Yeah, he is. I look away for 1 minute. Okay, let's jump back. Basti, to bring you up to speed, we're trying to think of what are behaviors that we can give to the AI to kind of give it, like, behaviors, think like Phasmophobia-esque. We want the AI to do something that the player can observe, and if they had a list of potential behaviors, they can pick from that list, like, oh yeah, it's doing this. A good example is if a room has a light in it, it will avoid that room. The player can look at that and then see a piece of paper that says that exactly, and they can say true or false. So this will include things in the environment that will change how the AI behaves, and things that just about the AI itself, like how fast or slow it walks. Things like that. I know, you've probably heard this spiel like a bajillion times. Because if any of you are new here, Basti's been here since, I think, the very first stream. Over 2 years ago. I got a good one. Could walk with a limp or not? Ooh, I do like that one. I like the easy one. That one we would probably need an animation for. Or, more simply, just changing the speed. But we have these two already. So, let's continue the stock player, where it stops moving. Stock is a good idea. The monster will just appear out of vision and just freak the player out. Yeah, that's the idea. Is that, it will, like, intentionally try to, obscure itself by like peeking around corners and objects. I think there's an Unreal Engine framework, I don't know if that's the right word, that does a good amount of that for you. It's mostly used for, like, you know, FPS games where the enemy characters duck and cover from enemy fire. But you can also probably use that for a horror game where the monster's trying to stalk you. Let's do this, though. So set our target location to our current location. AI controller. I'm guessing character is the one who has the location. Let's get a new line. And let's do get location. Nope, 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 nope. Get nav agent location, add actor local rotation, get target location, set actor location, get actor location. Okay, let's try that. Set the target as its own location so that it freezes when it sees the player. I guess it would technically, we would want probably the opposite, where when the player sees it, it freezes. Although that's not to say that this can't also exist. Like, that would be a subtle difference that would be interesting. We'll add a new behavior type to your character. Yeah, here we go. Freeze when bots player. Washing dishes gave me an idea, but it sounds too complicated in too many words. Hey, remember a while ago when you uploaded my Minecraft worlds and nobody played them? Oh, when you uploaded your Minecraft worlds. Well, I used my Discord Nitro free trial, so I'm going to put it back into Discord. Oh, you mean like the world dump itself? Like the world file? You don't have... Yeah, Minecraft is a good game. I think it's like 20 bucks. It depends on what type of gameplay you want. But if it's like your first time playing Minecraft, it's definitely an experience. I compare Terraria to Minecraft a lot too. If you like more, I guess, mechanically dense gameplay, Terraria is also good. It's 2D, but it's not like not 2D Minecraft, but it's similar-ish vibes, I guess, the way I would describe it. So get trait, freeze, and it'll hopefully autocomplete. Freeze when spots player. We go ahead and save this, and then we should be able to compile. Do we have any unsaved files? I don't think so. We can go ahead and go recompile. Uh-oh. We have an interloper in Twitch. Wait. Let me take care of that. Hold on. It's one of the games of all time, yes. I changed my mind. Give me a sec to find the words to make sense. If you're in the Discord, I don't know if the Discord character limit is less than, or pardon, is greater than YouTube. It might be. I would assume so. I think if it sounds stupid, we'll appreciate it even more. Keep in mind, you are in the live stream chat of the man who made the basic joke. Not even 15 minutes ago. Buy one huge box of noodles. Ooh, that's a good point. That's a lot of noodles. That is a lot of noodles. What's your all's favorite type of noodle? Ramen is hard to beat. So is yakisoba. But I think, like, my default state of being, I can't help it, it's Italian. Alright, we're going to try this. So we should be able to play an editor. And it does, you know, what it needs to do. But now if I'm playing, I should save all of this because it might crash when it sees me. Rigatoni. Stupid together. Reggaeton? I probably butchered the pronunciation of that. Aha! Oh. Oh, I thought it worked. Unless it is working. Oh, is it only when... Does he only freeze? Oh, that's a bug. Does he only freeze when... No. I was gonna say, is he only freezing when he gets to his room? No, that kind of looks like what he's doing, though. I thought I fixed that. I thought he didn't do that. So let's see if rather than freezing, he chases. Because I'm pretty sure when he does the chase, he doesn't wait until he gets to his old room. Yeah, see? He's just immediately coming for me. I break line of sight, though. He was back to doing his thing. Okay, so in that case, he did instantly switch to me. So he didn't wait for... He didn't wait for, him to get to his room before he switched. Am I doing something different here? Oh, this probably spelled it wrong, rigatoni. Okay, I think it's because this... Well, no. If player's in sight, which is true, we know that, and our target priority is less than or equal to 7. Since we're setting it to a 7 right now, we know that's true. And we know that it has this. So it should be executing this every time. Okay, idea, but it could be really silly. In the movie Zoolander, our running joke is that the main character, a stupid male model, can only turn left. That would be pretty funny. Idea sent. Another one, I'll take a look at it in a sec, Blue, but I want to write this down before I forget. Another one, kind of in the same vein of only turning left. Maybe if we want to make it a little bit more creepy and intimidating. Where's my Hunter AI? Here we go. Is that it only follows along the left wall. But like it has its hand stretched out and is always touching the left wall. And so it always has to be touching the wall. We can have two different ones. Only turns left. Always touching left wall. I guess what is left in this case? If you have a cube, all of that is the left wall. So unless it just can't walk backwards. While playing with other players, can the other player die and the other player revive them? Yeah, probably. I haven't gotten that far yet, to be honest. I can spawn multiple players, but with varying degrees of success. I don't even know where the other one went. Are we like inside of each other? Oh no, it spawned like 2 instances? I don't know how this works, I'll be honest. Oh yeah, let me read the Discord thing. I will forget because I'm just awful at this. Oh, looks like we have game recommendation. There's a lot going on since I've been here. What the heck? I don't know how the monster will look, but what if it can change its appearance to match the player? Assuming the players have a uniform of some kind and the monster is capable of shapeshifting. So the longer players are around to observe it and the monster is observing them, it'll change itself to make it look friendly. Like if its face is a little spooky, it'll morph its face to look like the player. Not a perfect copy, but enough to be like, me look like you is friend. Because if I'm getting from this that the monster is friendly or like curious friendly, I'm not paying attention, my attention span is absolutely rocked. I'll write that down as mimic of some kind. Because there's a handful of mimic ideas that people have thrown. Mimic / shape-shifting. Thank you, Daisy, for not sending me to the void because you're so picky with your words. That was a good idea. Do you ever watch Mission Impossible Ghost Pro? Is this the scene that you showed me, Basti? Where like they put up the projector screen? Probably Jesse or Tart. Yeah, one of the ideas Basti had is let's open up GIMP. Oh, I can draw this. And I don't know how well I'd be able to implement something like this to the extent that it was described to me. But like, you have a hallway, and you have a monster that either in and of itself is a screen or can manipulate light around it to generate 2D images. Of what's behind it. And so the way it worked in the movie in Mission Impossible, as the player, the 2D image updates and changes as the player moves left and right. So obviously, like, it's players know that there's something there, because to them it's just 3D almost. But if you have 2 players looking at it from different angles, then it can't make one image match multiple perspectives. I think like any type of show that has done camouflage things before. I think Dandadan did it too. Like similar concept to that. Let me get the clip. Yeah, that's what you're saying. Game recommendations. Let's see. Split. Good game made by the same dude who made Buckshot Roulette and Amnesia the Bunker. Heard a lot of good things about that one. Haven't played it yet though. Terror, who is immortal but needs to replace their limbs every so often or something. What did she rank that as? Scores a 0.2 in the violence? Need to replace their limbs. Maybe it's just like those 5 words it thought were bad. Like a roundabout way of trying to be violent towards someone's like, I need you to replace your limbs. When the monster's in angry mode. Alright, let's... Oh wait, I wasn't even in the Discord. You guys didn't see that. Shoot. I'm good at this. I'm a professional streamer, I swear. I'm not a professional at this. Not by a long shot. Okay. Let's pull out this and we'll separate it and we'll throw it. Can I not have these side by side? Oh, whoops, hold on. I don't know why I can't have multiple. Let me do window. How do I add a layout? How do I viewport? I guess not? That's kind of weird. I might have to cheat this one a little bit. There we go. I wanted to have both open at the same time, and there was no easy way to do that. Ren got the Roblox censorship locked down. Can you lobotomize Daisy for a sec? I need to post something, and that's impossible to do with her around. Yeah. Give me a sec. 1 sec. Vians. Daisy is kill. Do as you wish. Okay. Let's do this. And let's give it the... not the stock player, but the freeze when spots player. So it should still do the same thing. So it's hitting the interrupt when it doesn't see me. Okay. I think it needs to hit the interrupt one more time to break it from going to the room. Because let's try this again, but when it's stalking me. Whoops. One player, please. You had an idea, but you forgot it. So it's still doing the interrupt even when it sees me. So I think it's not the interrupt logic, and let's go back to this. I think the issue is not the way I wrote it. Well, kind of is. It's because it thinks it's at its destination, which is why it's so weird. So rather than saying my target is myself, I should set speed to 0. So we get rid of this. And I think that's part of our controller, not our character. Speed. Nope. Set walk. Is it our character? All right, who has it? Audio detection. Oh, get character movement. I'm half concerned also, though. Like, who's going to set its speed back to a normal number? Unless I'm already accounting for that in interrupt. No, it doesn't look like it. Or transition, maybe? Oh, yep, there it goes. Oh, but that's target reached. I would want to maybe do something else here in this to do. Can you increase the size of the code? Yep. You remove the censorship for a bit longer. You're liking this. What's going on in there? Wait, the clips on YouTube? How come I don't know it? There are movies on YouTube for free. Like full, not like, oh, it's you know, pirated. No, like the publishers of the movie release them to YouTube and you can just watch movies for free. It's like called YouTube Movies or something. It's crazy. I don't know if the Mission Impossible one's on it, but okay. So we'll try this. I had it so that it when it detects the player, it sets its walk speed to... Why is it mad here? Reference to incomplete type? What do you mean incomplete type? I'm doing the exact same thing. Oh, I think it's just complaining for the sake of complaining. It'll probably still compile. Sometimes sometimes Visual Studio will think that it doesn't have a reference to an object when it does. So I can just save this and I can try to compile and see if it works. That's fine. This happens all the time. Gonna get some sleep. See you next stream, maybe? Have a good one. Take it easy, username. Yeah, no worries if you can't make it. Always appreciate you being here. Have a good night. Okay, let's see. Let's see. So, use of an undefined type U character movement component. So it is mad about that. But we were using it here. Oh. AI character is cast hunter character. AI controller get pawn. What was I doing in detect player? Wait, no, that's exactly the same. Isn't it? Oh, I don't listen. I don't use Spotify. I have a feeling it's because I just don't have it added here. I probably need like character movement component. I'm guessing that that's just not in my header file on this. Yep. Oh man, I don't have half of these. Get that. I think that's all I'll need. There's a button right here that an error message is covering that I need to push for it to compile correctly. I need to wait for the error message to go away, because I can't click it and have it go away. It just stays on there until it decides to go away. So, here, remember when I said this would be a short stream? That was fun. I'll probably wrap after this either works or doesn't. Alright, it compiled. Let's see. Oh, so the stock player works. We want to change it to freeze. It froze, but then it's just not unfreezing. So let's see if we can quickly program an unfreeze. It's probably in transition. You might want to do that in detect player. Because this is kind of a weird edge case. Where... else if... Actually, it'd be cleaner to do this. If... else. This way it still also follows me too. Let's do this. If I walk out. Oh, there it goes. I don't know why it's just so silly. I just saw a random video called Spiral Park. You bet there is only one spiral. Oh. Spiral Mountain from Banjo-Kazooie? Me trying to socialize. Hey guys, what's up? Hey. That's me at the party. They don't know I'm a YouTuber with 12 concurrent viewers. Alright, speaking of YouTuber with 12 concurrent viewers, I am gonna get some sleep. So to all 12 of you, and the 2 of you on Twitch, I hope you have a fantastic night. I will not be streaming this Friday like I usually try to do. Let's get the Discord back up so we can look at the schedule. Oh. I will, I mean, I still play games, not necessarily on stream, but I still might. Word might. I will post a new schedule at the end of this week. It'll likely be Monday, Wednesday again? Potentially Friday. The reason I don't want to post it until we get to the end of this is because some people might not look at the dates and they might just be like, oh, there's a stream at 7 p.m. on a Monday. Or, and not recognize that it's next Monday. Or, I guess in this case, it would make more sense if it's like, oh, there's a stream on a Friday at 10 p.m., but not realize that it's not this Friday. Stuff like that. Anyway, if you're not in the Discord and you just want to, and let me throw the Discord link out on YouTube because only Twitch has been getting it. if you're not in the Discord but you still want to just join on the next stream and you're on YouTube, just subscribe. If you happen to be looking for something to watch and I happen to be live, I'll be recommended to you. Simple as that. Simple as that. I appreciate all the feedback today. Everyone who joined in, chatted, kind of gave some ideas and feedback, whether we used it or not. I do greatly appreciate you guys being here to bounce ideas back and forth off of. What else? Oh, and especially those of you who don't chat, because there are a large amount of you who just like to sit back and watch and listen. I appreciate you too, whether you're watching here live or you're watching the video after the fact. It's fine if you don't comment. It's fine if you don't chat. I still appreciate you guys being here and watching. So that's it for me. I hope you guys have a phenomenal rest of your weekend. If I don't see you on Monday, enjoy your next week too. Usually this is where I say if I don't see you on Friday, I hope you enjoy your weekend. But I won't be seeing you on Friday, so enjoy your weekend also. And I think that's just about it for me. Tart just came back from studying. No, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. There's always next time. There's always next time. Enjoy your studying, or I guess you already finished it. Studying is important, though. Hopefully you did. You studied goodly. Yeah. All right. Good night, everyone. Thank you for dropping by. Have a good weekend.